I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. This week on the Rough Draft Diaries, we're catching up with James Dickerson, or DirtyKics, as he's known on Instagram. We last interviewed him in April of 2019, as he was hitting the streets of Toledo, documenting the community as a self-taught street photographer. He's still capturing Toledo in 2020, but as you can imagine, some things have changed.
Every time I go outside, it's a learning experience for me. I look to achieve something more than what I did the last time, and to be halted abruptly when I, had this great year of plans. Things were kind of thrown off with COVID-19 this year. So I had this great stride, at first, and then it kind of wavered a little bit, but then I started to do like my COVID-19 project.
This project began when James put out a call on social media, asking people to share how they were passing their time in quarantine. With their permission, James would go to their house and take pictures through the front windows or even standing in the doorway, all depending on their level of comfort and conversation.
I set out, one day I might go north, one day I might go south, one day I might go west. And I'm just walking up and down these streets. When I encounter folks, I'm very general with them to start. How have you been doing? How have you been getting along? How's your family? Have you lost anyone to COVID-19? I'm very, straight to the point with my questions. And I kind of explain what I'm doing out there. Things kind of build on that end because, once I say, just how are you doing in general, there's this response of, I don't understand why people are protesting, or I don't know why we have to wear masks. I've been staying indoors all this time, just coming outside for minor things. Some people are like, happy that they are unemployed because there's friends and family that they haven't been able to see, but now they're able to meet in their, plot of land in their backyard. They're having like social distance gatherings because, otherwise they work different shifts. The conversations have been like unique. And then, the murder of George Floyd happened.
As you probably know, George Floyd was killed May 25th in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as an officer knelt on his neck for almost 8 minutes, arresting Floyd for allegedly using a counterfeit bill. Protests broke out nationally and locally, changing the conversation regarding race relations and police brutality.
Things they're just different. And while I am still going out, every other day and kind of walking neighborhoods, the conversations that I have with people they're questioning things and what they were aware of, prejudice, they're aware of it, but they feel like it should just remain where incidents occurred. Meaning, one family felt that the protest should only occur in Minneapolis. It's different, people's responses have been different. So I can no longer claim that it's like a COVID-19 project. It's just me documenting everyday experiences.
But everyday experiences can sometimes be extraordinary. As James met someone in connection with Toledo police officer Anthony Dia, who was shot and killed after responding to a disturbance at a Home Depot store on 4th of July. The subject fled into a nearby wooded area where he later committed suicide.
So the gentleman that had murdered him, Edward Henry, on my walks 2 weeks prior, I was hanging out with him and 4 other people. I always push myself to go out, and this was one of those days where I wasn't really feeling like going out. I walked outside and I just headed in a random direction, and first things were kind of dry, and then I encountered him, and we hung out for almost an hour and just kind of talked about random things. He himself kept going on about me photographing his dog, and that was kind of an eerie feeling because there wasn't a hint of evil. And I know he has a record now that's been broadcast, but there wasn't a hint of evil that night. There was just people outside, having fun, laughing. It definitely it didn't make me uncomfortable. It just made me feel, when I see that photo, I'll see so much more than what that night was.
James later stated on Instagram that this interaction brought new weight to what a photograph means to him, that he doesn't know how he's going to see the next stranger, if he should prepare for more as he dives deeper into the nature of human beings and capturing them on film. But he does know, although his perspective might shift, the work will not stop. Regardless of what the next few months look like, he's still planning on hitting the streets and capturing the community of Toledo.
I feel compelled. I feel like I owe society a Black history in Toledo, or, Mexican history in Toledo. Like, I feel like I owe them something because I have connections to them. So that's why I feel like I need to get out and I need to use my camera the best way I can. And so, that type of energy is I feel like other people should feel compelled right now because they see these things, and if it makes you feel bad, don't spend time feeling bad. Do something to make yourself feel good, make the world feel good, make your friends and family feel good, because eventually they're going to start supporting your efforts, and then that's just going to spread.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.